What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and today I wanted to talk about the future of Beach City Citizens and the episodes that surround them. Now, the Beach City episodes have been somewhat a subject of debate, myself included, as to whether or not these episodes would be considered filler. The creators don't seem to consider them filler. A lot of other people disagree with that, myself included. I did a whole video on that if you want to check it out. I'm not going to describe everything, but long story short, I do consider the Beach City episodes to be filler only because they have usually have no bearing on the overall character development of the main characters, nothing to do with the main story, or nothing to do with the overall lore. Obviously, this is a case-by-case basis. There are some cases where Beach City episodes have tied in to the grander story, but usually they don't have anything to do with it. They're more so character development for the side characters / the Beach City citizens themselves, which is still very cool to see. But I actually think that this may be coming to a decline in the near future, and there's a couple reasons for this. One being, Season 5 could very well be our last season. We don't actually know. There's a possibility that we could get a Season 6 and or 7 announcement later in the year, like in a Comic-Con event or something like that. It could happen at any point. We don't know. But Season 4 is kind of on its way out already, which happened really fast. But that means Season 5 will pretty much definitely be here this year for sure. And we don't know if they have anything like Summer of Steven planned, where last summer, as most of you know, they aired pretty much all of Season 3 just all in one go, once every weekday for a few weeks, and like the entire season was just here and then it was gone in like an instant, and it was crazy. So it's possible they could do something like that, but regardless, if Season 5 starts like by April-ish maybe, then it's very well could end this year. If Season 5 is the last season, the series could be done by the end of 2017 or near the beginning of 2018, which is actually really crazy to think about because we have so much left that we don't know about. We don't know anything about White Diamond at all. We don't know much about Pink Diamond's personality, her relationship with Rose. We still don't know the story with Lion. We don't know the story with the chest in Lion. So there's a lot of questions left, that we don't have answers to. And this is one of the reasons why I think it's possible that the Beach City episodes / filler episodes, whatever you want to call them, very well may be coming to an end, or at least slowing down pretty soon. Because I feel like if Season 5 is the end, and this is total speculation, if Season 5 is the end, they kind of have to hurry up and like wrap up and just tie up all the loose ends. And if they, focus on Beach City episodes, the likelihood of that is pretty low for the most part. But it sounds like from the upcoming episodes that we have, like the new Crystal Gems and Storm into the Room, like there's a lot of plot stuff, a lot of main character development. It doesn't seem like it's going to be deriving away from the overall narrative at all, but we do have Tiger Philanthropist and Beach Shorts, which we don't know what they're about technically. They could be a misdirection where they're named something completely different. So they're named something pretty casual, but it actually ends up being very important episodes. So we don't know what those episodes are actually about, even though they do sound kind of Beach City centric, especially Beach Shorts. But what's interesting, and I thought about this a little while ago, we kind of have all the character development we need for most of the Beach City characters / other human side characters. So Ian James Courtley, I believe, was the one that stated that, the Beach City episodes aren't actually filler. They don't consider them filler because they serve as character development for those characters. So if this is the case, we're practically done with most of the characters in Beach City. Lars, I don't think Lars is ever going to stop being a jerk completely. I think he's always going to have sort of bully, jerkish tendencies. That's probably something he would grow out of like when he becomes an adult. And we've seen Lars kind of open up more. We've seen more human side of Lars, especially with like the flashback with Ronaldo. We've seen him open up to Sadie more like over the course of this series. So I feel like the only other step to take Lars and Sadie would be them officially becoming boyfriend and girlfriend, like definitely. So that's pretty much all that's left for them. We've seen Sadie kind of deal with her mother. Onion has had the hugest development in the series, because he started off as just this weird, creepy, silent kid who just did really weird and thuggish gangster stuff. And we actually see him show some emotion and cry, and like we see him have other friends and have a really strong bond with them, and have a really strong bond with Steven, which like Steven was not feeling Onion for the longest time because he was so weirded out by him, and he still kind of is, but they've really reached a point where they bonded and connected with each other, which is really interesting to see, especially with a character like Onion, who's mostly just a joke character. And you know, Vidalia, we learned about Vidalia, her past with Greg, and we've seen her in a couple flashbacks. We've seen her in the present, her friendship with Amethyst. We've seen Sour Cream get a better relationship with Yellowtail, because that was something he was complaining about for a long time, and they finally really connected. So that's done. Ronaldo pretty much serves at this point the purpose of foreshadowing for the most part, which we'll do an entire video on that in the near future. But Ronaldo, that's pretty much what Ronaldo is there for, and I think the only thing that would kind of end Ronaldo's story arc would actually be directly story related to the main plot, because he's foreshadowed so many things, and he's like so dead on about stuff, and he's kind of tries to be pretty aware of the world around him. So I think anything with Ronaldo actually will connect to the plot. So I feel like Ronaldo's arc will end with all of his theories coming true and just being right about everything, and him being extremely like motivated to just keep going and learning even more secrets, maybe travel the world or something like that. Jamie, he fell in love, quote unquote, fell in love with Garnet, and then he got his acting gig. That was his big thing. He's an actor, and he got his regular acting gig in Beach City. So that was done. That was completed. Petey we pretty much got in Frybo. He was having an existential crisis, and then he wasn't really having an existential crisis. Now he's just a kid, and now he's chilling. He's cool. We've seen Kiki deal with her sister, kind of taking advantage. She got an entire episode to herself. Actually, the whole pizza family kind of got an episode where they reached an agreement with the gems and all that. That was pretty early on. Mr. Smiley, we finally learned about Mr. Smiley's past and what he did. He was a comedian, and we met Mr. Frowny, and they just had their moment where they finally patched things up, and that was really good. We had Buck Dewey kind of get a more close relationship with Mayor Dewey, and even Mayor Dewey had his struggles as a mayor, as a politician. Then he moved past those struggles. We've had Kofi Pizza and Mr. Fryman have their restaurant war again, and then they work it out again, and everything's fine. They get past that struggle, and we had Barbara understand where Sadie's coming from. We've even had Buddy Buttwick have a full-on episode, and we had the stage play. Like, we've gotten Buddy's development, and he had his struggle, and he was trying to travel the world, and he felt like he wasn't accomplishing anything, and he met Rose, and she basically told him, "Oh, you are accomplishing things, you're doing great," and he's like, "Yeah, you're right." So we've had pretty much, for the most part, development for every Beach City character. Like, there's maybe little tiny things here and there that they can do, but I don't think there's that much left to do. And then the only other character would be Suitcase Sam that I can think of, where we've only seen him, we've seen him in the background a lot, but we've only really seen him officially once. So the only other thing would be Suitcase Sam, learning about him. We haven't even heard him say any words at all yet. So that would be the last character I can think of that hasn't gotten any development, let alone in any type of real speaking lines. So that would be the only thing. A lot of people say he's Little Butler as an adult, which would be pretty funny. So that'd be kind of fun to learn. But even if we do get a Suitcase Sam thing, that would probably be one episode. And as for the other side characters that aren't Beach City citizens, like we have Mr. Frowny, we'll probably see him again. I think somebody said once, one of the Crewniverse members said once, that we don't see any character just once. So we'll probably see Mr. Frowny again at some point, but I feel like his development's pretty much over too. He patched things up with Mr. Smiley. He learned to smile again, whatever, all that good stuff. So there's not even really much to do with Mr. Frowny left. We might just see him again in passing. And the only other character would be Mystery Girl, which obviously isn't a beach, she's not a Beach City citizen, but that'd be the only other character, which I actually think she could potentially become a main character of sorts by the end, and be the main love interest for Pearl by the end of the series. So I think her story arc is more or less kind of set in stone. And even if we don't see her again for whatever reason, which I doubt, I think we definitely will. you know, she's technically served her purpose as well as development for Pearl, and Pearl kind of gaining the confidence and making the first really big step of moving past Rose and her love for Rose. So even Mystery Girl, technically speaking, if we didn't see Mystery Girl S again, it wouldn't technically be a big deal because she kind of already fulfilled her role. So that's why I don't think we're gonna get a lot of Beach City episodes in the future as much as we have, you know, because that's been kind of a point of controversy even within the fandom. As much as we love all the episodes, like I said, I don't think there's one single bad episode of Steven Universe. Obviously some are worse than others, but overall I've never once had a Steven Universe episode where I was like, oh, this is absolute garbage. But you know, a lot of people have had controversy of the pacing of the show, which is totally a fair critique, because we get right into the meat and the potatoes of the story, and learning a lot of backstory and plot, and learning more about characters, and we go through this huge arc that happens, and it's like, oh my god, it's so crazy. And then we come back and we're dealing with Kiki having pizza dreams, which I guess kind of taught us about Steven's powers, to be fair. But Future Boy Soltron, like, oh, now Steven, he broke the thing, oh no, he's got to pretend to be a robot and make some money for Mr. Smiley. And like, it's just like, it can get frustrating when these, you know, when we're right in the thick of a heated story and heated backstory and very emotional times, and we just kind of come back and it's just goofy fun. And that, again, I'm not saying there's a bad episodes, but sometimes it can be annoying every now and then when it's just like, can we just get through this story? I want to know what happens. Please help. If you're binge watching it, it's totally fine. It's whatever. You just go right through it. But it's just like, I need more. So yeah, that's been. But I think we're gonna be kind of getting less of that in the near future, because, like I said, the upcoming episodes are pretty story centric, pretty character centric. So I don't know. And again, if season 5 really is the end, they have to wrap it up anyway. So it seems like since the character development is more or less there, we might get some goofy, fun, nonsensical episodes as well, I'm sure. But for the most part, the character development's there. There's very minor things left to do. So I don't think we're going to be getting a ton of Beach City episodes, but I could totally be wrong. They might just keep continuing, developing even more backstory that we didn't know about. Who knows? But that's pretty much it. Just wanted to kind of talk about that. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get more Beach City episodes? Do you think it's necessary at this point after all of the character development we've gotten? Do you think they'll keep it as it's always been, where we get a lot of breaks in between main story arcs? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for tuning in as usual. Follow us on Twitter. Check out our Patreon in the description or at the end of the video. Thanks so much, and I've been Michael Williams. You've been watching Cartoon Universe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.